it's Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be twofold. First, I'm going to show you how to wire wrap beads. There's been a couple of you that have been asking for this, and I told you I would put something together. This is the second time I'm filming it because I was working with chain that was really tiny, and I kept holding it up to my face closer so I could see it. So my hands weren't in the video, so you couldn't see what I was doing. So I'm refilming it now. So the first thing you're going to need to wire wrap beads is you're going to need pliers. I have two different pliers here. I have a needle nose pliers and I have a rounded tip pliers. So this one is going to be very important when you are doing the wrapping part. This one is going to be more of the workhorse. This is going to be steadying things. It's going to help you pull things. Then I have this one that is more of a snippers. This one you may or may not need depending on how you wrap your bead. So we're going to keep this one handy just in case. The second thing that you're going to need is you're going to need head pins. So you're going to see a couple different ones when you go to the store. There's going to be some that have a hole in it. And this is if you're stringing beads together and you need a place to attach each bead. Otherwise, they have, let me find one. They have them with just a flat head like that. They come in gold, silver, brass. You'll find all sorts of them. These are nickel free, so they won't tarnish on you. But since these are basically going to be used as dangles and things that maybe go on a planner or December daily or a journal or something like that, I don't worry too much about them tarnishing. So getting something that's nickel free is not that important. The gold, for some reason, are easier to bend. So if you're working with the silver ones, I'm just going to tell you that you're going to have to put a little more effort into the bending, and you're going to have a little bit more sore fingers. But, you know, I usually do, when I do a wire wrap bead, I sit down and do a whole bunch at one time. So my fingers tend to get sore anyway. But I'm going to work with the gold one today. So the second thing you're going to need is you're going to need a bead. So I have just a container here, $13.99. You can see this is from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off when I bought them. So it's a great way to build up your stash. And I'm going to be using a larger bead today. I'm going to use this purple one. My daughter just came home. So I'm going to use this purple bead. All you're going to do is you're going to thread it on there, and it's going to look like that. Okay? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your rounded pliers. This is the one that we're going to work with. You're going to give yourself just a couple millimeters from the top of the bead to where you're going to place your pliers. Just going to pinch it right in the middle. We're going to push it. So mine now looks like this. Okay, so it's bent all the way down. So you were like this with the top of the pin on the rounded part furthest away from you. The next step is to switch it. You're going to bring it to the rounded part that is closest to you. Okay, so it was like this, and we're just moving it to be like this. Okay, what you're going to do at this point is you're going to take that wire and you're going to bring it all the way around. So it looks like this now, okay? So we're going to put it back in here, and this is where the wrapping part is going to come in. So I'm going to take this tail, and I'm just going to start wrapping it around itself like this. And you're going to want to keep it tight up so it's touching. Every time you wrap, you want it to touch the wire on top of it. So if you can see that, oh, let me get you centered here. See how nice and tight those wraps are? And that's something that's hard to do at first because you just want to get it around it. But it's kind of practice makes perfect. You're going to make a ton of these, and they're going to get better and better as you go. Okay, so I've gotten it to this point, and now it's hard for me to bend it with my fingers anymore. So that's where I'm going to come in with my needle nose, which I said was going to be the workhorse, I'm going to grab the end of it and I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to just start wrapping it with that. So I got one turn done on it. I'm going to take the pliers and I'm going to get it as far as I can. Now at this point, I'd put the pliers around it like that. So can you see what I'm doing? And I'm just going to pinch my pliers on top of it, and I'm going to turn my pliers, and it's going to wrap. It's going to do the work for me. So you might get to the point where you've got this tiny little tail left. I don't know if you can see that. So there's a tiny little tail. I'm going to be able to finish that, so I'm not going to worry about snipping it off. But this would be the part where you might need to bring in this scissors or the snippers and snip it off. But I'm going to be able to finish that with my pliers, I think. And I'm just going to squeeze and tighten. There. I was able to give it a nice, a nice finish like that. Okay, now I'm just going to straighten my top out just by bending my pliers up. And we have a wire wrapped bead. So I'm going to do another one for you. Oops. So let me grab another head pin. I'll do a silver one this time to see how much harder it is. Oh, this isn't silver, this is brass, but it's got the head pin on it. Sometimes I've noticed that this head pin is too small to keep the bead on it. I can tell like these beads right here have a larger hole in it, and I have a feeling this will go all the way through. Yep, so this goes all the way through. So when that happens, what I usually do is I put a seed bead right on the end here to stop it from coming off. So that's an easy way to do it. I'm going to use, I think I'll use the purple one again, just because it's nice and big. So we're going to put it on there. This one doesn't come off the head pin, so we're fine. I'm going to take my needle nose pliers. I'm going to put it again, just a couple millimeters above where the bead, the top of the bead is, and I'm going to bend it down. Okay, so it's bent down, looks like that. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to switch it. So now my wire is on the prong that's closest to me. I'm going to finish bringing that around. So it looks like this. And I'm just going to use my finger to wrap. I'm just going to wind it. Keep winding. Okay, I'm going to use my pliers. This one's being a little stubborn. Circle my pliers around there. Circle, circle, circle. And I'm right to the end with a little bit of a tail that I think I can finish off. Give it a try. All right, I'm gonna straighten my circle out. And there we have another wire wrapped one. So just in a couple minutes, I was able to make 2 beads. So you can see how if you're sitting down watching a show and just making these, in no time you'll have a bunch in your stash. Okay, so this is the end of the wire wrapped bead tutorial. The next thing I'm gonna show you is how to make a little dangle charm like this. So this would look adorable hanging off of a journal or a planner, a December daily. It's very simple. It's only just got the 3 charms on it. It's got a lobster clasp, it's got a jump ring, and it's got the chain, and that's it. So I'm going to show you how to make one of those. So let me get this set aside. Don't need these anymore. I'm going to pull this out. And for this, I'm going to need chain. Oops. So you can buy this chain at any craft store. I bought this from Walmart. This is the gold chain I have. If you can see, the chain links are very small on this one. I ordered this when it was quarantine, like lockdown, and nobody was leaving the house. So I just kind of guessed when I bought it. But if I were to buy this again, I would definitely look in person and make sure that the links were a little bit bigger. It'll be much easier to work with. The silver one I have is huge. So these links are really big and super easy to work with. So this is just one that I had started. I just didn't add any beads to it yet. Okay, so we're gonna need chain. We're gonna need the lobster clasps. I have right here. And we're gonna need some jump rings. So let's put a couple right there. And we're gonna need some beads. So let me put a couple out here that we can choose from. There we go. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the end of my chain. Oh, and I've got a little knot in it. Quick, get that out. Okay. So I'm going to take a jump ring. And I'm going to open it up. So to do this, you're going to take a pliers in one hand and you're going to put it on one side of the opening. So the opening is right there. And you're going to put a pliers on one side. And you're going to put a pliers on the other side. So you're going to go like this. And you're going to push one pliers away from you and one pliers towards you. And that opens it up like that, okay? So I'm gonna string this chain, which here is why it's important to have larger links because these are super tiny. I'm gonna string the chain on here like that. And I'm going to string a lobster clasp on here as well. Okay, so now they're both strung on there. I never took this pliers off, so this pliers is in the same place it was before. Grab this pliers again, and instead of twisting apart, oops. There we go, instead of twisting apart, I'm gonna twist them together. There we go. And then that makes a perfect closure, like that. If you take your pliers and you pull it apart this way, you're never gonna get the circle back to its original shape and it's never gonna close correctly. So you're always gonna wanna pull one away from you and one towards you. And then if you need to make sure that it's tightened, I always do a pinch this way and a pinch this way. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna do about 2 inches. So I know that each one of these squares is an inch. So it looks like it's about there. I'm gonna take my one that's got the sharp edge on it and I'm just gonna snip it. And there we go. So this is what we have. So now I need to decide what I wanna put on here. So I really like the way this one looks. It's very nice and simple. I like when it has a larger charm on the bottom. To just kind of ground it. So I could do maybe I could do a gold Christmas bulb, and I could do a gold. So I could do a green Christmas bulb here. I could do a peppermint in the middle, gold lollipop on top. So it's kind of the opposite right there. I could do something like that. If I wanted to do yellow, I could do like the yellow candy on the bottom there. And then I could do a yellow lollipop, and I have a little clear bead that I wire wrapped, and this is one that's got the little seed bead on the bottom like I was talking about. I could add that to there. That's kind of pretty, because then that brings the crystal with the crystal. I think I'll do something like that, but this lollipop is broken, so I'm gonna replace it with this one. So I think I'm gonna do that. I think that looks really pretty. I noticed that this, so when you do this, you're not gonna be able to attach just a plain wire wrapped bead to the chain. You're gonna have to add a jump ring to it. So I get my jump ring out. I'm gonna do again my 2 pliers. I'm going to twist one open. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put it on here at the same time, so that way I only have to open it once. Okay, so I've got my chain here, and I'm going to thread it through there. Just thread it on, and I'm going to close it. Again, I'm going to do a pinch this way and a pinch that way. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Got the clear crystal bead dangling down. So next I'm going to add my candy. I'm going to open it up like that. I'm going to add it to the very bottom of the chain, the very last link. Slide it on there like that. Now we're going to close it up. Again, I'm going to give it a pinch and a pinch just to make sure it's tight. Okay, so now we look like this. So now I can decide the middle part where I want to put the lollipop. And knowing that it's going to dangle down, I think I'm going to go right between the two. I'll go dead center with the jump ring. I'm going to take the jump ring again. Oh, my kitty is saying hello. Okay, going to open it up. Going to find the middle of my chain, string it up, and close it up. So you guys can see how simple and easy that was, how quickly it was to put it together, how quick it was to put it together. And that comes from just having all of this prepared ahead of time. So this is what it looks like. And how cute is that? How cute would that be to add, like I said, to a pocket letter? You could hang it from a memory dex card. I think the possibilities are endless. And I think it's a great addition to any kind of pocket mail or swap mail that you do. So I wanted to also talk to you guys about these little charms that I have here. So I've got a lot of little sugared candies. I've got the lollipops. I've got these little peppermints. And what else? Oh, and the Christmas bulbs. So these are all from Hobby Lobby. I did a haul on this a couple weeks ago. I've just been picking up these little trinket little, they're actually miniature Christmas ornaments. And they're from a special part in Hobby Lobby. I think it's called My Little Christmas is the name of the company that makes these. So I've been picking them up. And what I did is I brought them, and when I talked about preparing them ahead of time, they each come with a little hole on the top where you can string a piece of thread through it. So they have, you know, silver and gold thread to make it a little ornament. But what I did is I took them all and I put a jump ring through them all. So they were all ready to be beaded when I needed them. So I did all of these bulbs. I did all of the lollipops. I did all of these sugared candies. I did them all at once. So they were ready to use when I needed them. Also, I've been working on some Dangle charms using all of these ornaments that I got and some wire wrapped beads. And I just put a video up earlier this week showing you what I all did with them. If you want to check them out, I'll link the video here, but they're also for sale on my Etsy shop if you want to check that out as well. But I encourage you to try these. I think they're easy and fun and a great starter project to get you started into beading. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.